everyone, welcome to Literacy Today. We are going to be continuing our learning on how to write a 2A sentence. So 2A sentences are sentences which have two adjectives before the noun. So first of all, I'm going to start the lesson by going over what we did yesterday and addressing some of the problems some people had. So the format from yesterday was the, and then one adjective and another adjective to describe the place name, So it could be, you did the Roman baths, you did Colosseum, you did loads of different places to do with Rome, famous Roman places. And then he said was another adjective to describe that place, and another adjective, and then another name for that place. So you could, as I'll show you on the next slide, have the smelly, dusty Roman bath was an imposing, magnificent building. Okay, the humongous, crumbling Colosseum was an incredible, echoing place. So the Colosseum and the Roman baths are the place name up here. We have two adjectives describing them before we put the place name. And then we have two more adjectives describing them and another word for that place. So building is another way of saying Roman baths, a more general way. And place is another way of saying the Colosseum in a more general way. And we've got incredible and echoing. Those are our two adjectives before place. Okay. So at any point, if you want to pause this video just to have a little look over it and make sure you understand it, you're very welcome to do that. So with yesterday's work, the common mistakes were capital letters at the start of sentences. People were forgetting that, and that's really basic, so please don't forget that. Also, you need to remember you need to put a capital letter for proper nouns. So those are specific places or people, which you will be talking about today. We're going to be talking about some people. But say you had the word Colosseum, it should have a capital C, which means it should not be joint with the rest of our cursive writing word. So that's our first mistake. The other mistake was some people forgot that there should be 4 adjectives in total. As you can see, 1, 2, 3, and 4, not just 3 or not just 2. And there should be 2 adjectives before each noun and a comma in between the adjectives. Okay, so those are the things I want you to really make sure you are focusing on getting right today, because they are the problems we had yesterday. Right, okay. So today's format, as I said, we're doing something a little bit different, and for the first few slides I'm going to get you to just have a little think about how we could, or how you could write this sentence. So on this slide you can see that I've already given you some examples. So today's sentence is going to look like the, and then we're going to have 2 adjectives with a comma in between, the person's title, the person's name, and was a, and then 2 more adjectives to describe them, and then say what they are: a person, a god, a boy, a man, a woman, a character, a girl, whatever. Okay, so you can see my first example is Harry Potter, and I've got the courageous, ambitious wizard. So courageous, ambitious are my first 2 adjectives to describe Harry Potter. Wizard is his title, it is what he is, and his name is Harry Potter. Then you can see was a, 2 more words to describe him: pale, bespectacled, and he is a boy, full stop. Okay, so you can see how I've built that sentence using this format above. Okay, our next one is Simba from the Lion King. So the adjectives altogether are silly, cheerful, determined, and handsome. The title, so what Simba is a lion. He's also a cub, and his name is Simba. So the silly, comma, cheerful lion, comma, Simba was a determined, handsome cub. Right, now, these ones, I want you to have a little think about how you would describe these characters. So as you can see, I've left blank these pink dotted lines, which are where you would put adjectives to describe the character. So our first one is the something something toy Buzz Lightyear. So which adjectives could you use to describe Buzz Lightyear? Was a something something character. So maybe you could say the brave, hilarious toy Buzz Lightyear was a outstanding flying character. Okay, those are all adjectives we could use to describe him. So it would be really great if you could write these down and take a picture of these as well as your worksheet for today's assignment. So these ones which I've got blank bits, I want you to see what adjectives you are adding in. Okay, and then we've got the two adjectives, lion, Nalus. This is the female lion that's friends with Simba in The Lion King, was a something something cub. So again, can you think of two adjectives we could add in to describe Nala? So you might have noticed we're not just describing how they look, we're also describing personality. So think of adjectives that describe how they look and their personality. Right, our next one, we have moved on to a picture of Horrid Henry. So the something something boy, Horrid Henry, was a something something child. So if you need to pause the video to write these down and get your adjectives in, then do that now. And then another character I've got here is the something something, and then what I would put here is mouse. He is a mouse. The something something mouse, Stuart, was a something something character. Okay, so you need to think of some adjectives to describe Stuart Little. And here we've got a more complicated one. Okay, so we've got Emmett from the Lego movie. We need to think of two adjectives first to describe Emmett. The something something figure, Emmett, was a something something, and then we need to say, what is he? Is he a person, a character, a god, a boy, a man, or a woman? And that needs to go there. And then I've put this one down because I know some of you will really enjoy writing this one. So the adjective, what's this person's title? You maybe could say ex-president. Trump was a something, and is he a person, a character, a god, a boy, a man, or a woman? Put that there. Okay, right, excellent. So that's been going over what we're going to be doing today. Now I'm going to give you a little bit more information to help you. So today we shall be using the format of 2A sentences to write about some famous people from the Roman period. I shall introduce who each of these people are to help you to come up with 4 adjectives for each character. Make sure you have your worksheet printed off or you've drawn your own version of it. Okay, so this is the worksheet you should have. And as we go through the next few slides, what I'd like you to really focus on is writing your adjectives. So in this column here, we are writing our describing words, our adjectives about each character, and we need 4 adjectives next to each character. Right, so the first Roman person we're looking at is Julius Caesar. So please listen to this video.
He was a man of the veterans and initiated land reform. He was a man of the people, a populist who helped military veterans and initiated land reform. He was a brilliant strategist on the battlefield, an astute politician, and an avid historian. This man would become the last dictator of the Roman Republic, paving the way for the great Roman Empire. Julius Caesar was masterful, artful, and above all, powerful. He was adored by the man in the street for all those things, but despised by those who were envious of the hold he had over the people.
Okay, so you can see there that we've got lots of describing words about Julius Caesar. So you could say he's brilliant, he's powerful, he's a historian, he is very into land reform, he's a visionary. All of these words, think of which ones are adjectives and write down 4 adjectives about Julius Caesar. Remember, you can also have a little look at this picture, which is imagining of what Julius Caesar would have looked like, and take some inspiration for descriptive words from there. Okay, our next person we're looking at is Romulus. So Romulus, I want you to think about what we know from the Romulus and Remus story about Romulus. Was he a nice person? Was he a strong person? Was he a powerful person? And was he determined? Because that should help you get some adjectives. So remember, Romulus is the one that survives. He kills his brother and then ends up building Rome. Our next person is Augustus, who was the first Roman emperor. He reigned from 27 BC until his death in AD 14. He massively expanded areas which Rome ruled over, becoming one of the most effective and controversial leaders in human history. So we can definitely use effective and controversial. Those are both great adjectives. And then think of some more, maybe base it around his appearance. Okay, Hadrian was an emperor between 117 and 138 AD, many disapproved of him because he was not interested in expanding the empire. He focused on building and making existing borders defensible. So that means the places where the empire ended, he was making sure that no one else could invade those places instead of expanding the empire, making it bigger and going and conquering new people. He was also known for putting senators who opposed him to death. So do we think this man was sensible? Do we think he was maybe a bit mean, cruel, maybe? Or maybe you think he was just sensible. He was a good man. Think about that. Have a look at that information, see what adjectives you can use to describe him. And then also have a look at his picture here. So this is a statue and this is a recreation of what he would have looked like from that statue. Now we have Emperor Nero, who is very famous. Let's just watch this video about him.
The famous Roman Empire. Were there any bad ones? The answer is simply yes. And the one that first comes to mind is Nero, Emperor Nero, a leader who ancient writers and historians claim not only started the great fire that destroyed Rome in AD 64, but also fiddled as he watched his city burn to the ground.
Okay, so Nero is very well known not because he was a good man, because he was quite a bad man, and he's also a bit mad. So you could probably put destructive as one of your adjectives, because he literally burnt Rome to the ground. And mad, maybe not the most attractive person. Think of your own word for that. Right, and Livia. So finally we are on to a Roman woman. Livia divorced her first husband to marry Augustus. She focused on being a model wife. That doesn't mean she pranced around catwalks. It means that she was setting a good example for other people to follow her lead. She never wore excessive jewellery or fancy clothes. Instead, she focused on looking after her husband and her home. It is rumoured that she killed her husband after 51 years of marriage so her son could be emperor and so she could be more powerful. So maybe you could say she was power thirsty. That's a great adjective. So it means someone that really, really wants some power. Maybe you could say she's vicious or evil. You could also say she was a great role model. She was sensible. She was very concerned with how she looked to people. You could also say from this imagining of what she looked like that she was very beautiful, very pretty. And our last person you need to write some adjectives for is Minerva. So Minerva is a Roman goddess of wisdom and strategic warfare, justice, law, victory, and sponsors of art, trade, and strategy. So she is a goddess of lots of things. She is not a patron of violence such as Mars, who's another god, but of defensive war only. So that means she only agrees in violence if it is to defend yourself. As the most important Roman goddess, she is highly revered. That means that people really care about her, honoured and respected. So there we go. We've got some adjectives there already, honoured and respected and revered. We could also talk about how you think she looks. What words would you use to describe that? Maybe we could say she was very wise. That's a great adjective. So we've gathered lots of adjectives now about these characters, well, these real people. And so we should have 4 adjectives in each of these boxes. And now we should follow the model to write our 2A sentences. Once you've done that, if you could please upload that onto the assignment so I can have a little look at it and mark it. I hope you enjoy this and it isn't too confusing and my videos helped. I'll talk to you later on today.